This is Tom Myers, Superintendent, Bellevue Community School District, coming to you with this month's Believe in the Blue update, an update from the recent board meeting, which is on Monday, June 8th. A few things that way, just to keep you in the know of what's going on that way as well. Some upcoming things, August 3rd and 4th is our registration time, and that'll be from 10 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. for grades PK through 12. That will all happen at the Bellevue Middle School High School Commons area. And then we're looking at potential summer school dates for students in K through 4 next year. And that will be in the elementary school specifically. So you're aware of that. And the first day of school is scheduled for students to be on August 24th. I'll get to that in a little bit. That way, some updates with our return to learn plan and getting kids back in school and where we're at currently. But some open enrollments we approved at the board meeting last night or on Monday night. And then we also approved some recommendations to hire. A few of those were Kylie Biederman as assistant high school softball coach, hired Bob Kilberg as an elementary custodian to be the night custodian. We also had some conversation about baseball and softball and how we may need to hire someone to help supervise students in the extended dugout area and also to wipe off equipment. So we're having some discussions about that ongoing that way. Also had surveys that many of you probably completed that way as parents, students, staff members, whatever the case may be, on the satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the online learning that we were forced to do as a result of COVID-19 from about mid-March to the end of the school year. Overall satisfaction for parents was at 84.3%, for students 90.81%, elementary teachers, given the situation and where we're at, what we did, 90.48%, and middle school, high school teachers, 86.95. You can go on and see some different opinions on why they felt that way. I would say that 100% or virtually 100% of people would also say, would they rather be and have their students in school? Yes, but looking at the situations, all that information is on the website at bellevue.k12.ia.us. Go to superintendent, and it's over on the right-hand side of the page. So you can check out the different survey results and comments from both parents and students that way as well. Students surveyed were only grades 6 through 12, and there are about 100 students there. Parents were about 180 parents or households that way. Some comments with that, some different things that were included in the survey is making the work required. Was a thought that many people had. Technology training for parents that way, and we're working on that, as I'll get to in a little bit, and just some other things like that. And when I say we're going to get to that, we are working on a return to learn plan that way. We have one due with the state of Iowa on July 1st. I do not know what that is going to include, what we have to include. There have been some work sessions we've had here with district leadership team and others, just other conversations, even with conversations with community members and students that way. But just really looking at coming back to school and how we're going to make that happen. Part of that is right now, it's June 11th today. And how are we going to change things before August 24th, or what is going to change before August 24th on that first day of school? Are we still going to have social distancing of 6 feet? That will make some changes that will have to happen in our buildings that way. Our plan right now is to have every student coming back on August 24th, one way or another. Could that change? Yeah, it could. I don't control the social environment out there and what's going on in COVID-19, but we hope to have every student back, and that is what we are planning. Some safeguards we are putting in place. We will have multiple hand sanitizing stations throughout both buildings. We also have that in rooms. We're also going to be, once again, concentrating on hand washing and general hygiene, things like that. But we also have glass guards up around food service in front of secretaries, and we'll work to maintain that 6-foot distance, whether that's in the classroom or if we have some students maybe outside the classroom and things like that. So we're working on all those things right now and trying to make it as good as possible for the learning of our students. Each and every student, I believe, needs to be back in school, just like each and every teacher and other school professional wants to be back in school. So we're making that happen that way. I will share some of that. Hopefully this upcoming week, I'll give you a draft of the Return to Learn plan. I'll throw that out on probably social media. You can check it out there and also be on our website as well. So just FYI, so you know kind of things about that. The milk and bread bids were sent out, and we got those back, and the milk bid went to Bellevue Dairy, and so that is with with John Ruggerberg, and then the bread bid went to Bimbo Bakery in Dubuque, which we've had for quite a while. Instructional support levy, the board talked about that, bringing extra funds into the district. That is not a new levy. It's a levy that's been around for many, many years. In fact, in the notes, you can see from 2000 to 2001 how much money that has brought into the district. That is used strictly for staff that way, for staffing that way, and it brings in roughly right now about $325,000. So we also talked about continuing the school nurse, Kelly Humphrey, with the Andrew Community School District. Also talked about social and emotional support for students and the importance of that. We talked about that before COVID-19 happened and before all of our students were out, but that got brought up again, and we are certainly going to work on the social and emotional support. One of those steps is we're going to have Life Connections as part of our district that way. They will be, or someone from the Life Connections department will be at the elementary school for 2 to 3 days a week that way, and they'll be at the middle school, high school for 3 to 4 days a week. That was just so you're aware of that. I think that's a very good thing for our students. Those are free services to our students that way, and to our families in that regard too. Also reviewing board policies in the 200 section, which is board of directors. This is the 5-year rotation we go through every 5 years. We also have a few in the 400s area that we are going through, and those are also on the website. We transfer of funds from the general fund to the student activity, which is just a natural thing that happens each and every year that the state of Iowa gives us permission to do. Also applying for Title I funding. That is actually in process already. We get Title I funding in for reading typically, and that is shared between the Bellevue Community School District and the non-public school in our district as well, so working with them. Comment, reading, and reflection. I shared an article, which is also online. It's about returning to school. It's called "What Will Schools Do in the Fall?" Here are 4 possible scenarios, and those scenarios are everyone coming back like normal, which we plan on doing, but we're going to have some things in there that way, safeguards that I talked about that way. Another one of those is electrostatic cleaning. We bought an electrostatic cleaning machine, which has proven to be a very valuable tool that businesses are using and some schools are beginning to use. We're kind of on the cutting edge that way of going forward with that. That will be arriving here in July or August. So we will be cleaning buses with that, bleachers, classrooms, everything like that. That is not, it does not sweep up a floor. We still have to sweep the floors and everything like that, but it does do some other things in the room that way. It puts a coating that way. It's a healthy coating as well on things. That's I call it a coating. It's really not probably, but anyway, you get the idea. So that's one thing there. But so the comment, reading, reflection, getting back to that, some other areas there, coming back to school like normal, coming back to school, some kids some days, some kids other days. That is a potential too. That's been talked about by some districts that way based on the amount of kids we can have in rooms. Is it going to be 6 feet apart? How are we going to handle that? That could happen. My plan is not to do that at this time. We're going to try everything we can to get everyone here at the same day, even if that 6-foot social distancing is in effect. That will cause some changes with busing if that would be the case, but hopefully that's not even the case. Another thing would be strictly going online. And we will work on that as well if need be. I do not foresee that happening, but we also have to be prepared for that. We do have an online system where students can take classes online, and that's actually being expanded a little bit for this upcoming year that way. So graduation, we did have our virtual graduation. We did have to cancel our traditional graduation with all family, friends, and relatives. We bring in 600-700 people to that. Actually, somewhere between 700 and 800 people to that. We did cancel that. We did have our virtual one. You can see that online. It's actually on the front page of our website. Kind of let you know what our students are planning. 84.4% of our students are planning to go to college, and that was an even split between a state college and a private college. We have a total attending college, 84.4%. We had 13% that are going to work, and then we had a few going to military and a few that were undecided yet. So just so you're aware of that, very good numbers overall that way. And in there, it also talks about all the graduates and all of their plans or what they plan on majoring or where they plan on working or what they plan on doing. I also gave an update on summer cleaning and summer maintenance, what's going on there. We did redo the main gym floor. That was planned to be done in August. Actually, it was completed in June. The floor is not open yet. Still doing some extra cleaning and let the seal set that way. We did replace some ceilings in the middle school, high school building with some new lighting to make rooms much brighter and much more welcoming. that way. And we had batting cages up for the baseball and softball teams. Coaches got the fields ready and did a lot of work in that regard as well. And talking about baseball and softball, games start up next Monday. We play at Cascade. Both boys and girls play high school baseball at Cascade. First home game is next Friday, July 19th. Hope you can come out. That is at Cole Park. We are transporting students in a safe manner, following the recommendations from the Iowa Department of Education and Iowa Department of Public Health. And we'll have less than 15 people on a bus. That way we will be taking 2 to 3 buses to games, depending on the amount of people that are riding. Students this year for baseball and softball only are allowed to ride with their parents. That way, that was one of the things that came up from the Iowa Department of Education. There are a whole bunch of specifics on how things work and keeping social distancing during practices, during games, everything like that way. School facilities are still closed till July 1, at least at this time. We are working to have those open on July 1, at least some parts of them, if the governor and the Iowa Department of Education give us permission to do that. The only coaches that are allowed to work with students at this time are baseball and softball. Other events are not allowed to happen, or coaches are not allowed to have that face-to-face contact on school grounds with them. There are a few exceptions to that, but they really don't apply to us that way. So just so you're aware of that. And I had the superintendent had their evaluation. That was me. Had the evaluation on Monday evening as well. But well, they did approve the normal raise for me that all of our staff members get every year, and that this year it was a 2.6% total package. So I want to thank the district for that and thank the board. And if you have questions, as always, feel free to give me a call. Just let me know, and we'll go from there. Have a great day, everyone.